Alright guys, well I'm back today with another Taurus GX4, but this one is actually the T.O.R.O version or optics ready version of the really popular and affordable concealed carry 9mm that Taurus just released. I want to give a huge shout out to American Pawn & Gun located in Monroe, North Carolina for donating the T.O.R.O to the channel for us to try out. Without American Pawn & Gun support, it'd be really difficult to continue to get all different types of guns and ammo out to the channel. I also want to give a huge shout out to Callaway Ballistics for donating the 9mm to help make this review. They're an awesome ammo manufacturer. They also have a code 704 Tactical to get free shipping on ammo orders over $200. And they just released a huge batch of ammo to their website, so definitely check them out to save some money, as well as save some money on shipping when you use that code 704 Tactical over orders over $200. Now, American Pawn & Gun carries a lot of Taurus handguns, and they get a lot of real-life feedback. And every time I'm in there talking to Greg, I hear so many positive stories about Taurus, especially the brand new G3 line, the G3C, as well as the GX4, and I was really excited to try out the T.O.R.O version. Now, Taurus sent out the original GX4 to the channel, and I got to try it at the IV88 YouTube shoot and ran a ton of rounds through it. So this is actually my second example, and it has been running great. So, when American Pawn & Gun started carrying the T.O.R.O versions, I knew I had to grab one, and again, they were nice enough to send this particular one out to the channel. Right off the bat, I mounted the Vector Optics, the Frenzy S on here, and I'll talk quickly about this optic as well as a few other options. So this one is going to be the Frenzy S, and it generally sells for $199, and this is pretty cool because it's got the auto on and auto off feature, which is perfect for a concealed carry handgun. You don't necessarily want to draw a gun and fumble with buttons to turn it on in a concealed carry or defensive situation, so I always recommend auto on and auto off. It also has brightness adjustments on the side, and this thing gets insanely bright, has really good glass, really small yet a large viewing window, so like the perfect hybrid. It also sits really flat and flush with a sight cutout in the back, allowing you, if the optic goes down for some reason, to still use the iron sights. They're on sale for $159, but I also have a code 704 Tactical, which is stackable on top of the sale to get you 10% off, dropping the price down to about $143. And then there's another great option for the optic for this handgun, the Raiton from Borelli. Borelli has these on sale for $99, and they're going to mate up nicely. So this is going to fit all of those micro-style concealed carry optics. Now, they don't specifically give an optics cut name, and I believe that's because of patents, but it seems like every single micro optic that I've tried, the Raiton and the Vector, will fit the GX4 just fine. Now, the Raiton is 99 bucks, but it auto adjusts, and some people don't like that. I've never had a problem with it. I really like this optic, so both of these are going to be great high-value options for this GX4. Now, I spent a little bit of time on that because a lot of guys are going to pick up that optics version and not know what to put on there. I highly recommend something that's automatically turns on and off, and both the Raiton and the Vector do that, and this mounts up solid. You can see how nicely it interfaces with the top of the slide, and with the optic installed, it's been 100% reliable. My previous GX4 was 100% reliable with a wide variety of ammunition, and so was this one. Again, we ran the Callaway Ballistics Reman, Newman, as well as a few rounds of hollow points through this from Callaway Ballistics, with no issues whatsoever, as well as some Blazer aluminum ammo with no issues whatsoever. If you're unfamiliar with the design, it actually comes with 11-round magazines in such a small, compact option. And to give you an example, here is a SIG P365 XL, one of my go-to carry guns, and it's definitely smaller than that, but again, holding 11 rounds of 9mm, which is incredibly formidable. It also ships with a 13-round extended magazine, which is pretty nice for just basic range shooting and to keep as a spare mag, so this is really slick. I've been running a ton of rounds through this, and the recoil impulse is surprisingly controllable for such a small handgun. It's incredibly ergonomic, and all of the controls are in a really nice spot. The slide release is located far enough out to access it to really drop that slide. Well, it's actually a slide stop. I know some people are going to get mad about that, but this one actually works pretty well as a slide release. The magazine release is also really easy to actuate, and it stays out of the way. You're not going to accidentally bump it. It does have a shelf in the front if you wanted to ride your finger over the front. I don't do that, but it's possible. Let's make sure it's clear one more time. And the trigger is surprisingly smooth and crisp for such a high value and budget concealed carry handgun. It's got the trigger safety bar that needs to be depressed to pull the trigger to make it fire. And once you do that, it is a very smooth take up. And then a very crisp break. The reset is actually short, audible, and tactile, followed up by a nice crisp break. This also has front and rear slide serrations to do press checks, and overall it's an incredibly nice and ergonomic pistol that's been 100% reliable, including adding the optic on top did not change that platform. In my opinion, if you were looking to pick up a GX4, I'd honestly go for the Toro version. The MSRP is not much more than the standard version, and it comes with a plate that covers up that optics cut, so you can go back and forth if you decide you don't like it, but I feel like it adds a ton of value. And the other cool thing is, Taurus is just making the Toro line in a wide variety of platforms, including that G3 as well as the G3C, I believe. So definitely check out American Pawn & Gun in Monroe, North Carolina. You can actually get your hands on some of the guns there, try them out, see if they feel comfortable, and make your decision. Honestly, Taurus is making some really good products, so I'm super glad I got this one out to the channel to try out. I'll continue to update you guys on its performance down at the range. And if you want a more in-depth review on the Taurus GX4 in general, definitely check out my first video. I really wanted to do a compare and contrast between the two models, and the main difference is that T.O.R.O cut, and it does not affect reliability. The other cool thing about this is it points so naturally. I talk about that in the first review, how it's ergonomic and it points naturally, but this one is so cool just because as soon as you point, you can really pick up that red dot rather quickly. It's kind of hard to do on camera, but you guys can see it just picks up really fast, perfect for concealed carry and defensive situations. Definitely check the link links in the description below. Now, unfortunately, I can't link a ton of the things I talked about, but I can post my campsite page in the description below, which is an aggregate site of all the best deals. And I can link to a lot of these optics in the description below, so definitely check them out, as well as check that out, the description for all the codes to the ammo, and as well as all those optics I talked about. And then definitely swing by American Pawn & Gun in Monroe, North Carolina. Talk to the owner, Greg. Tell him 704 Tactical sent you over, and he'll definitely hook you up with some deals, and you guys can get your hands on some of the latest and greatest Tauruses that they're offering at their shop. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.